So a lot of y'all are probably still struggling to find your own sound. And I remember when I started out, I never really understood how to find your own sound and how to build your own sound, how to push your own sound. And I remember I was watching videos on it. They was always talking about how you gonna go from making beats like 808 Mafia or Weezy or any other big producer to somehow building your own sound.
What is that?
I'm finna give y'all some crazy tips on how to build your sound, how to solid your sound, out of what parts your sound consists of, and how to improve and build up these parts. There's a lot of people who just think that making certain types of beats is your sound, but I would not agree with that. But yeah, without talking much more, let's get straight into it. Now, before I get into this video, I'm trying to clear out a big misconception in my opinion, and that is what a sound of a producer is. A lot of people think that the type of beats you're making is your sound. For example, if you make hyperpop beats are your sound. Or let's say you make Plug B beats or Playboi Carti beats or Lil Uzi beats. It don't matter, Yeet beats. To me, your sound is your way of thinking, your way of making beats, and how you approach certain things while you make the beat, and just basically your thinking behind it. For example, let's say Weezy.
Show the screen.
You know, they're like the typical Weezy beats, but that is not Weezy's sound. Weezy's sound is how he approaches things. Now, if Weezy would make, I don't know, a dancehall beat, it would still kind of be recognized as his sound. You know, that's not the beats he usually does. The approach, the general approach and the general thinking gonna be the same because that's his sound no matter what beat he makes.
Like, even if it's a R&B shit or there might be some trap shit, it sonically sound the same. Like Zay told me, it don't matter what kind of beat Zay made, you still know it Zay made it. You know what I'm saying? So that's Zay's sound though.
So yeah, to kind of elaborate on that, to me, your sound consists out of 4 things. First one being the most obvious one, just how you approach making beats or melodies in general, like what you're thinking while creating, just how your thinking process is while making beats and melodies. And it obviously can get built, but also has something to do with being talented. Now, the second thing that your sound consists of is what effects chains, what sauce you put on, you know, whatever. Those things that you like to put on, you know, certain melodies, certain counter melodies, certain drums, you know, hi-hats, loop rater, for example, like how you flip certain things. So now the third thing, how you place your patterns. Now, a lot of people might say,
that's kind of like the same thing than the first point. But to me, it's different.
I really noticed over the years that how you place your patterns is really a unique thing to every producer, and you really develop your style of placing patterns, as stupid as it sounds. For example, some people might use a lot of different VSTs and a lot of different layers, only put like very simple patterns in each one. Some people may like put hella complicated patterns. Some people may put, you know, hella counter melodies and little riffs in their main melodies. Some people just put chords and then add 10 like layers or whatever. Plays a big part in your sound. And now the fourth point that your sound consists of is sound selection. So what VSTs you like to use a lot, what kind of sounds, more ambient pad like sounds or more like plucky short sounds. But we finna get to how you can improve those points that I just mentioned later in the video. First of all, I'm trying to, you know, set the base for even being able to improve in all those points I just mentioned. Now, the first thing is kind of obvious, and that is to just get solid at making beats. Now, a lot of people think they 1 year in and they crazy already. Because I remember, like, you know, if you make like a crazy beat, like after like 6 months or 1 year of producing, you might really think like
you're onto something, like you're really crazy with this shit.
But then if you listen to it like 1 year down the line, it is completely garbage. So definitely ask a lot of producers, a lot of artists, or even friends, just normal listeners, like their honest opinion about your beats.
Oh, that shit's hard as fuck. Stop playing.
Cut the shit off, bro.
Cut the shit the fuck off!
Bro, what is it?
But what is he doing?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I feel like you can't really say how good your beats are, especially at the beginning. To improve in all those things I just mentioned, to build your own sound, you obviously gotta be very solid, or at least solid at making beats. Now the second thing that can really improve every single one of these 4 points that I just mentioned, as simple as it sounds, trying around with different genres or subgenres or just different types of beats and melodies. Now that does not mean you gotta now make like rock beats or some shit if you would make trap or R&B, but you know, kinda experience around a lot with different genres or subgenres. And if you do not just make the standard R&B beat, the standard hyperpop beat. You can do that at first, but then it's very important to try to push your boundaries as much as possible. But I'm just finna show y'all some examples that I did.
I don't even know what this is.
Now if you try to mix genres and kind of, you know, push your boundaries, do not just, for example, put standard hyperpop drums on like a paying guitar sample. That's not the point of it. It's more so trying around, trying to make something sound good, just letting your mind flow and just making anything. It does not even have to be good. Like the only point of this is to really just push the boundaries, kind of explore new things to add to your sound. And don't be afraid to have like a phase where you just make something that you never made before. Like at the end of the day, it will really help push your sound. Now the best way to really benefit from those type of phases or from just experiencing around is to actively take something from that genre or from that completely new beat, completely new thing you just made, and actively implement it in your sound. Now like I said, they can affect all of the 4 points that make your sound. Take something from the arrangement, you can take something from the sound selection, certain effects, certain drum placing, you know, just anything honestly, actively from that genre. Now you don't have to do that, it will already happen unconsciously if you just experience around. Now let's get into tips on how to improve certain things of your sound. Like I said, the first point is really kind of hard to give tips on. You know, the way you approach making beats, the way you think while doing certain things can't really be improved other than, you know, experience, talent, and just trying around, like I just said, with different genres, pushing boundaries. Now the second point, what effects, what sauce you're using can be built up by just saving mixer presets and then always using at least like 1 or 2 of your saved mixer presets in every single melody or beat you make. This works especially with melodies, and it's just so convenient because first of all, you will spend way less time, you know, looking for the perfect effects, and second of all, because you're using the same effects, the same effects chains, it will automatically kind of build your sound that way. If y'all don't know the save mixer preset,
just go to your mixer channel, file, and then save mixer state as.
And then what I did is I just made a folder called mixer presets, and right here I have those subfolders right here.
Ambient effects, bass, counter melody, drums, guitar.
That's the mixer presets from my second analog lab bank for the main melody, master, others, synth, and vocals. And I got a good collection, like main melodies, I got a bunch of shit, counter melodies, ambient effects, guitar, drums. Now like I said, if you get yourself to use those mixer presets in every single beat and melody you make, you will automatically build a sound. Now for the next point being how to place your patterns, it's kind of hard again to give like a great tip to really solid and improve that. Only real way again is by just experimenting around with a lot of different genres. Now that's gonna help a lot in how you place your patterns. A way you can obviously train this is by making a lot of midis. Now what can help a lot with finding your style as far as how you put your drum patterns in or how frequently you put notes in in the piano roll for melodies is just watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of live streams. Everybody watching this video probably knows. Now you can definitely pick up certain things on how these people place their patterns there and kind of adapt, kind of implement some things in your style too. This is a real thing. Like, you will really develop your own pattern style, I call it, over the years. Now for the people that don't believe me or don't realize that there's something like a pattern style, just for example look up Pierre Bourne remakes and then just look at how he plays the melody patterns. Like, he just used like 8 different VSTs and placed hella simple patterns in every single one of them. Like, that's just one example, you know, I just thought of. But your pattern style is a real thing. Now sound selection, this last point, is very overlooked and very underrated, because sound selection, as the name suggests, makes your sound.
Like, the sounds you select will obviously make your sound.
No, that's just honestly preference and just finding something that not a lot of people be using. For example, I like to use Unclean Machine a lot and a lot of context Spitfire libraries for ambient textures, but really try to find your own VSTs, your own selection of sounds, and then really bring yourself to use these sounds in every beat. A good example for somebody who really created his own style as far as VSTs go is Pierre Bourne. In a lot of his older beats, like from a few years ago, he used the FM8 by Native Instruments and the SQ8 ROM VST a lot. That doesn't mean if you have your 2 VSTs, you will use them forever and never get new sounds. Always get new sounds and experience around, which just in general will help you, you know, build your go-to sound selection in a way. You may come to using more of like plucky and short sounds, or more to like bright sounds, dark sounds, more pad-like sounds. Now, to absolutely kill this point and completely have a unique sound selection is by just having an analog synthesizer or multiple analog synthesizers that you use for all your beats. Now, good examples for this is Akachi, who uses a Roland Phantom X6 a lot, or Buddha Bless, who has a Yamaha Mod X. I also got an analog synth myself. It's the Roland JDXR. I would definitely recommend it. I also use the sounds of the JDXR in my melodies a lot. I especially like to sound design sounds on there for my analog lap bangs, which I also personally use a lot. So yeah, that kind of makes up my sound. Now, this is just an example. Now, another way of obviously creating truly unique sounds is by just learning sound design and sound designing sounds yourself. Now, they don't have to be unique VSTs necessarily. It can also be unique sound banks not a lot of people using, or just in contact unique libraries. It can even be one-shots. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope y'all could learn something from this video. I hope it was helpful. Yeah, definitely let me know in the comments. Now, if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe. That helps a lot with pushing these videos to new people. But yeah, with that being said, check out my kits. First link in the description. Have a great day. Stay blessed. I'm out.
Trying to stay focused, I keep drinking this lean. Killers behind me as I'm chasing my dreams, oh Lord. Trying to heal up a nigga, feel like Tyreek. But it's been too long, realize they permanent scars. Raindrops, they say keep enemies close, but I can't hang without. I'm the real definition of a falling star. Walking on tears, running on blood. Don't take too much. Love is a drug. Hey, walking light, feel like the feds been watching. Cause I just beat the county. Face too hot, that's my main little run.